Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
And welcome back to Batmania. Today we're doing Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker, our second and final entry in the Batman Beyond series, but two of these in a row. It's kind of fun to live in this universe for a little bit. This is of course one of my favorite Batman movies of all time, and excited to go back to this for the first time in a good long time. I don't think I've watched this at all since the Rewind, which was years ago.
And you've never really seen it.
He's gonna start us right in that place. Okay, so I went ahead and bought this again because, and it's nice that this actually has some special features because the
commentary's
version I had
good.
did not, and I never listened to that. Of course, Bruce Timm commentaries often are. I wish we got that for everything, and I mean not necessarily every episode, but I wish we got it for at least all the movies.
I have at least 2 factoids that I'm just going to repeat from the commentary.
Naturally, it's so hard not to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, and you know, there will be people who have not heard them. You just don't want to spend the whole commentary doing that. Anyway, but yeah, so there's an uncut version. It is this version. We weren't even sure when we got this. We gambled.
It's real hard to tell
with the box covers. But that tells me that the ones with the special features must be the uncut ones.
Yeah, because I think they only did a commentary for the uncut ones.
Yeah. So anyway, there is a more kind of adult graphic version of this with just a couple of scenes, and maybe just the one flashback. I'm not sure, because I've never actually sat down and watched it. And I've always known about it, but I couldn't get my hands on it back when I did the Rewind. And these days, I wouldn't do that. I would have been more thorough and actually gone out and made sure I got my hands on it. But back then, I was maybe a little more concerned about deadlines than anything, and so I went ahead and recorded it, regardless of not having seen that. I got a little flack for that, and fair enough. Like I should have seen that. So this will be my first time actually seeing those scenes. Although I don't know, maybe at some point I went and YouTube like just that particular bit of it. I can't even remember. But I guess we'll see if I recognize it. I kind of know what happens, but I haven't actually sat through it. Cool. Inside the rest of the movie.
It's been a while since I watched the movie, but I adored this movie. I liked it a lot.
Have you watched it both ways, or did you only watch it that way?
I watched it the original way when it was first released. I rented it very quickly.
You mean the uncut way?
No, the cut way, because it was released originally just that way.
Okay.
So I saw that, and then
for a long time I thought that maybe even was a rumor. I wasn't even sure that was actually.
And then I think the only way I'd seen it since is that, because I know there's a point where I watch a video where someone chose the original version, the censored version of it. I was like, oh, that's how it goes? That's weird. But yeah, so like I didn't remember what was in the original version like at all.
And a lot
that's
of people live by it to say this is the only way to watch it.
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I remember thinking it worked fine in the version I did for the Rewind. But so today you'll get to hear our comments on that. So anyway, if you want to watch the movie with us,
yeah, sure. I have a thing about the box.
Okay.
So I was looking at this box, and I had this realization that I've never had, because I've always liked this cover, but thought the choice of green for the Joker was weird. And then it hit me like a lightning bolt. I'm going to show this to you, and I'll try and show it to the camera. We'll see if that all works out. It is an homage to the original film poster for The Man Who Laughs.
Oh, I guess it is.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I don't know if anybody can see that.
Are we sure that's intentional?
I would have trouble believing it's not. It's real similar.
Well, I mean, it's just a giant green face. It's similar.
Smiling.
Well, yeah, but that's natural. It's the Joker. I mean, like it's a big face that's taking up that section of the poster.
Well, and Man Who Laughs
yeah,
is always
see that.
That film is always credited as one of the inspirations, so I could see.
Sure, but it doesn't have. But what does it have to do with this particular material over any other Joker material?
I don't know, but the green face specifically is why I think it's an intentional.
Did you just find that, or did someone point that out to you?
No, I've seen that. I've seen the Man Who Laughs poster before, and
I'm just saying I would love to know for sure.
No, that's just a thing that I randomly
actually intentional.
I randomly had like a lightning bolt moment like earlier today where I was like,
because you're right. That's
why.
Cool and eerily similar, but I could totally imagine Bruce Timm going, I wouldn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's true. It is possible, but I'd like to think that is intentional.
Yeah. God, I love corroboration. We should see who we can tweet about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could get a response from somebody.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the movie. That's really cool, though. I'm glad you pointed that out. Have you ever actually sat and watched them?
I've never watched.
I've always meant to. I've never done it.
And you know that book's hard to get a hold of too.
I didn't know.
I once purchased. Yeah, it's a Victor Hugo book.
Oh,
and
okay.
I once purchased that for Matt for Christmas or birthday or something, and discovered it's nigh impossible to get. And the version that I got looks like someone printed it in their home and put a spine on it.
Interesting.
Like it's a real.
So there's not even like an ebook version or anything.
There might be an ebook version, but as far as print copies, it's real hard to get hold of, and it's real thing.
So, once again, we're watching the uncut, uncensored version. So, if you watch the other version along with us, you're going to be off a little bit, probably somewhere in the midpoint.
Well, and I think when this was on Netflix, it was the uncut version as well.
Oh, was it really?
I think so.
But it's not anymore, so that's kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is only like a couple minutes longer. But I would assume that once you get to the big scene that's different, you'll be off with us. So anyway, if you can get your hands on it, try to get that copy, and make sure to get it past all the menus, get it to timestamp 0, and get ready to press play when I say now. Here we go, Eric. Everybody, please press play right now.
So one of the things I've realized in watching some of these now is I think I hallucinated something as a child. I distinctly remember Bugs Bunny spinning the family entertainment part of Warner Brothers.
You said that before, yeah.
And
you've
I'm
never
starting
seen
to doubt that that's ever actually happened.
Ever been a thing?
It should be a thing. Wouldn't that be a cool way for your logo to go?
Yeah, sure.
There's Hyena Guy. Everybody loves Hyena Guy.
One October, one Halloween night we had, or I guess it wasn't Halloween, but it was Halloween week. We had a Halloween party, and we were supposed to watch Nightmare Before Christmas, but for whatever reason, we either couldn't make it play, or we didn't have a copy or something. We ended up watching this. And it ended up being an okay thing to watch on Halloween for whatever reason.
That's not a bad Halloween movie.
Yeah.
And there's the
it was alright.
The Jack-o'-lantern guy. The DDs are voiced by Sabrina Teenage Witch, Melissa Joan Hart.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
And I always remember the DDs wrong. I always think that they predate this movie, but they start here.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are in the movie.
Here.
I thought they were in the TV show after this at some point. Maybe
I
not.
think this is the last thing we get from this show. I think.
Is it?
I think so.
No. This is like 98.
I thought this was like the cap off.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, this has got to be in the middle of it to sell it, because this is like... this is the same year or the year after the show starts.
Okay. And this was a big deal. It
easily could have been the end of it, though.
Mm, yeah.
I'm with you. But if it was at the end, first of all, Max would be in here, and I don't think she is.
I think you're right.
And I would imagine... I mean, you could have just written that and had them there, but with all that stuff in third season, it's weird that there's no mention of the Justice League, any of that stuff.
Well, and this
given how big this threat ends up being.
Well, I mean, and I like that this is a movie because they very clearly stayed away from doing a like Joker Beyond. Like they did the Jokers, but they didn't give him a Joker. There wasn't any kind of, and so
and they don't feel the need to do a follow up with that or anything.
To make the Joker what you do the movie around, I think is a really really cool.
If you're gonna do it,
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that people always gave this show a lot of credit for was not just doing the Beyond version of all those characters, or bringing all those characters back. We did it with Mr. Freeze, we did it with Ra's al Ghul, but we didn't do it with a bunch of things.
Well, and we did it with Bane.
We did it with Bane, but Bane was really cool.
But they also didn't give him like in the same way that like Spellbinder is kind of his Scarecrow, and the one girl
he didn't have a Joker.
He didn't have a Joker. He had an arch nemesis in Blight, but he didn't have a Joker.
Yeah, and of course what we say with the Batman-Joker relationship is really pushing some envelopes in this, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't just the standard same thing we've done all the time. I mean, it's really consistent, but the point is if you had if you had another Batman, how do we make sure that Terry McGinnis still counts as Batman, arguably as much as Bruce Wayne does, and still doesn't have that exact same relationship with the Joker? And
yeah, this is almost
really
making the same argument as the first film of like it's validating Terry as a legitimate Batman.
Which is part of why maybe it's important if it is earlier in the series as opposed to later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might be right, especially to help sell the series. They're definitely at least done with season 1 by the time they work on this, because they talked about how trepidatious they were about doing the Joker, so they must have done quite a bit before they write this. but I don't know.
Yeah, and also
Cool.
they felt real burnout by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
That they had that, at least for them, this whole idea was kind of played out.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, it feels very much like it's in its heyday right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie just has such an energy to it.
Yeah. That guy's name's Bonk.
I don't think the show does anything as good as this movie.
No.
It doesn't do anything better than this movie. It maybe
Yeah.
does a couple of things that are real close.
Yeah.
We have some wonderful episodes, don't get me wrong.
No, this is kind of the pinnacle.
And it's also hard to say whether this is whether Phantasm is a better movie than this. They're hard to compare because they're such different things.
Yeah.
But I think they're both definitely of a quality.
I mean, I tend to lean towards this. This is one of my favorite Batman movies, period. I mean, Phantasm's amazing, but...
Phantasm's just so much my style of Batman.
Mm-hmm. And I've got the cyberpunky thing. And
yeah, sure. One of the things I talked about in the Rewind is how great of a job this movie does in being a dual protagonist film.
Mm-hmm.
The story is Terry's and Bruce's,
yeah,
both together, and I feel like maybe I have somehow heard this commentary before. Like I said, it's been so many years since I did the Rewind, I don't remember, but I remember saying something about Bruce Timm talking about this movie and Mike disagreeing with him, saying that this is Terry's movie over Bruce's, or maybe that Bruce isn't even a protagonist, and I thoroughly disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they both have clear-cut character arcs that are very married and intertwined.
Mm-hmm.
It's really important with respect to Bruce Timm. That's a real testament to the piece.
Yeah.
I think this movie is very easily watched in a vacuum.
Yeah.
That's another thing I like about it a lot. I don't think you have to know that show at all to like this movie. I think this opening sequence, while the DC movies, in whatever era, whatever they are, always tend to have to open with a scene like this, but it doesn't go on all day, does it? It's, with the big action scene. But I think that is a really good introduction just to this world if you've never been here before.
And it's a conscious choice that they talk about in the commentary that they want it to be like a Bond opening, where it's a big action scene, ends on a zinger, go to credits.
Sure.
I think
it's not like out of nowhere, and it has something to do with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I think they specifically cite Automatic Secret Service, but obviously a lot of Bond films do that.
This, just like Phantasm, I think, is certainly theater-worthy.
Yeah.
I'd like to see this on a big screen. We're watching it on a projector screen right now, which is cool, but I'd love to go to a theater and see it.
Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell.
And Tara Strong. I wonder who Tara Strong is in this.
Tara Strong and Arlene Sorkin, and I wonder how many other things they both have credits on together. That's interesting. Because I don't actually know what either of them are doing. Well, obviously, Arlene Sorkin's here for Harley, but what is Tara Strong doing?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Unless she is...
Because you said the Dee are
unless Joan Hart,
what other female voices are even in this movie?
She might be background people. Well, though they put her up front. Maybe she's... Is it possible she's Terry's girlfriend?
Regularly?
Yeah.
We'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess I can do that.
Be great if she was like Terry's mom or something. We just didn't know.
Wow, does Michael Uslan have his name on all this stuff?
Yes. It's a contractual thing.
Okay.
He's
one of those guys. He won't have anything to do with some of this stuff. But
but his name is on everything because it all comes back to '89. He was the guy that got '89 made, and he worked really long and hard, and so he gets his name on everything. Screen Batman. It
just always makes me wonder if he actually worked on any of these in any capacity.
He did a Shadow Green Hornet crossover that I'd like to read. He actually wrote it, and I've heard it's quite good, which makes me wonder why. Hey, that was weird. So all the designs.
She's Barbara Gordon.
Oh wow.
Is that right?
Oh, she's young Barbara Gordon.
Oh.
Because she was Batgirl in
season 4.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that makes perfect sense. I was gonna say because you know who I don't know her name, but you know who older Barbara Gordon is.
No.
She's American Made.
Okay.
from the Tick.
So we just saw. You're looking at photos, you missed it, but they're like these wax statues of all his villains, and he threw a batarang and chopped off Two-Face's head. And
I forgot about that.
There was Mr. Freeze, Killer Croc, and the Riddler. They're all the New Adventures of Batman designs. But the Two-Face was clearly the original design.
Because it's better?
Yeah. But the Riddler is better, too, in the animated series.
Yeah. I wonder why they did that.
This is a weird choice.
Maybe it was just the models they had lying around. I didn't realize Price's name was spelled with a Y.
So do you think this is dirty?
You learn so much from subtitles. What's that? The red herring? Or?
The red herring voiced by Mark Hamill.
What's impressive about it is that I didn't pick up on it.
Oh, okay.
It's... I mean, if you pick up on it right away, and of course these days I would, because I mean I know what Mark Hamill sounds like, yeah, maybe that is a little bit dirty pool. I think the red herrings in Phantasm are much fairer.
That one just kind of seems like it's cheating with the audience, but I don't know.
That is fair. But he is doing a totally different voice.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you have to really know that voice, but a lot of your audience is going to.
But they did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, they did it,
of course.
assuming that people would pick up
I agree with you, yeah. Yeah, and then they want to throw you off with that, yeah.
So they just addressed that the hyena guy is a splicer, which is that's a nice bit of continuity.
Yeah. But that is a continuity bit that goes throughout that series. I mean,
Do we keep bringing back splicers?
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Yeah, splicing is like a regular thing.
Okay.
I don't remember if it comes up first in Season 1 or Season 2, but once it comes up, we keep dealing with it.
No, it's really early on in Season 1. I want to say it's in the first, 10.
Is it that early?
I think so.
But yeah, we do keep dealing with it. It's the drug that all the kids are doing. I like the giant lava lamp.
Yeah,
the most enormous lava lamp.
When they dance, this is the stuff that I think looks most Darwin Cookie.
Oh yeah,
because obviously Darwin Cook worked on the show. This stuff seems the most Darwin Cookie to me.
And Dana's whole model looks like he designed it.
Yeah.
Her in the face versus anybody else in the show is a real Darwin Cook-esque design. Did he work on the show?
Yes.
I feel like you probably told me about that.
I think we talked about it in the other one.
The last one, yeah.
Which for you guys is yesterday, but for us is like a week ago.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Dan's come and gone.
That he has, yeah.
Now time date when we recorded this.
He's still here. We just didn't want him to watch Batman because he doesn't like Batman.
He doesn't like Batman.
Yeah.
Although he'd probably like Batman Beyond.
Well, it's got so much Spider-Man in it.
Yeah.
Damn, Dan is not here. I'm just joking. It would have been fun to do this with him.
Thank God Dan's not here. Couldn't wait for that guy to get out of the house.
So you mentioned Dean Stockwell. You didn't know who Dean Stockwell is in this.
No.
No? Oh! He's Tim Drake.
Oh,
he's older Tim Drake. Yeah. You mentioned his name earlier. I was just like, I just want to make sure you knew who it was. I love Dean Stockwell.
So, I love this design for the Joker. It's really cool. When we get the flashback, that is my favorite design I think that they ever do, and I think that's the design they use when they do Justice League. It's my favorite Joker that they've done.
I forget, did they bring the lips back?
Yes, they bring the lips back.
But this one doesn't have them.
No.
Right?
I don't think so.
If memory serves.
Yeah, I don't think he does. But it works because he's older. Like it feels like a conscious design choice as opposed to whatever it was. I mean, I guess the other one was conscious design choice, but it makes him feel more different.
The red eyes are just wonderfully creepy.
Yeah.
And it gives it more of an air of mystery because you're already wondering how in the world he's alive.
That's not in the cut you watched, I don't think. Where he shoots him with the flag. Oh, he does have lips.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So,
I like that he does feel older.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a different reason for it later. So you're wondering, did he... Because we don't know the background yet. Mm-hmm. We haven't gotten that flashback. Which is, by the way, the most beautifully rendered animation in this entire thing. When we get that like, Batman swinging around with Robin stuff, that's, like, the most beautiful animation in this entire movie. They seem really excited about going back to that stuff.
So there were two I said there were two things I was going to bring up for the commentary. The first one was the James Bond thing. Second one is, so the way we get this Joker design is while they're working on this movie, the novel for Hannibal has come out. That's probably also not in the censored version.
Oh yeah, I bet it's not.
But the novel for Hannibal has come out, and everyone's reading it, and they all like unanimously have this like, yeah, let's slick his hair back and make him more. He's
awesome.
Hannibal. That's what they're doing with him.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe it's been so long. I couldn't even remember if he had lips or not.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he does on the cover, but he also doesn't have a great
I thought
face.
he did, and then when you said it, I was like, maybe he does, and I could picture this design without lips, and my memories were playing.
But yeah, I love that he just looks like a slightly older Joker, but he's not as old as he would be, and so that adds to the mystery. Like, we're really thinking about all those details.
Yeah, because he's not Bruce Wayne old.
And especially if you've been following the show and this isn't your introduction to this, how is this even possible? And can they pull this off? And what's really cool about that is that, like, I like that they took the risk to try it. And I mean, it would have been overkill to do it with with a bunch of different villains in the show, obviously. And it was nice of them to avoid that. And I totally get why they did that. But it was, but because the premise itself seemed almost unexecutable, and then it was great. It's really cool that they did it with the Joker, and then it was great.
Well, and also, like, it's not just the Joker's, like, Batman's arch nemesis. Their Joker is definitive.
Yeah.
And it's really important that it had to be as good as what they've done with him before. And it was. Oh, is Green Goblin coming?
Yeah, but he's definitely doing the Joker voice over the Green Goblin, or over the Hobgoblin voice there.
Yeah. So, well, no, that's what in Spider-Man when the Green Goblin's glider flies in, you just hear the laugh. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing we do with the Joker a lot too.
Yeah, yeah. This shouldn't be that out of the ordinary, right? Like, Jokers are running around, like, just hearing laughter. That's calling card of a bunch of gangs throughout the city.
Well, yeah, but it would freak out Bruce because it's that specific voice.
Oh yeah, I guess he would notice that it's that laugh.
He would know what laugh it was. Yeah.
Stupid hiatus.
I mean, unless somebody's just, playing audio of a laugh he did years ago, but he'd be able to probably maybe tell the difference.
Yeah, that was an audio recording and not a.
It's funny. I always think of this version of the Joker's gang, and I always forget that there are other versions of that. I mean, that there are other members.
It's kind of definitive.
They go in and out.
The only other one I ever really think of is the one in the pilot episode who looks like the Joker. Okay, so here's a thing that I can nitpick. I don't see that mole anywhere on his neck.
Yeah. Is he just using makeup
to hide the mole? Yeah, I don't know.
Is that the idea? I don't. They never mention it, so I don't know.
But like, I'm looking all over his neck and it's not there.
I love that we pan up it while the Joker's talking about it. I missed the cape.
I also like
just
the
love
Joker
how
criticizing his outfit.
There's something really haunting about him right up front. Even though, I mean, he's kind of acting the way he always has, but it's just like we're shooting him from like a lot of weird angles, and again he's got that slick back hair. It just feels so wrong.
He does.
They do a wonderful job of just making him feel like he shouldn't be here.
He does a similar thing in.
But he's still fun and funny, and that's important.
Marvel vs. DC, when he first meets Spider-Man, he starts analyzing the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume.
Yep.
But he feels out of place. And even his outfit, which is different than what he was wearing before, it doesn't feel futuristic.
No, it's just a black leotard.
Yeah.
I like how stripped down it is. Again, because it's not normal. And again, it adds to that mystery. Why is he wearing that? That's somebody else's clothes, we'll find out later.
I guess it is black. I always assumed it was purple. But yeah, it's black.
I think it's got kind of a purple tinge to it, just to kind of honor the fact that it's the Joker. But simplicity was always key with the show. Mm-hmm. And that's true of the animated series, too, as far as the animation and a lot of character designs go. It would have been easy to make a Batsuit that was just so flamboyant and had all the bells and whistles and everything but the kitchen sink. And I really wonder, maybe we talked about this before in the commentary you guys maybe listened to yesterday, but I would love to know if Bruce Timm and his team did look at all at $20.99, because it also has a real kind of simple look to it.
Mm-hmm. The car that he's driving is just the animated series Batmobile flipped upside down.
Yep.
Which is great.
That was the thing I needed somebody to point out to me that I never noticed, but it totally works.
Yeah.
But it has to hover off the ground. If that had wheels, it wouldn't look as good.
Yep.
But I would love to just have wheels on the top.
He doesn't have the mole either, unless it's on his other side.
And that's a great fake out, because even though he's watching footage that would have been shot already, you just immediately wouldn't even think that it could be him right away, because you're seeing him look at the person that you're wondering about. But also, we don't have any reason yet to assume that the Joker is in someone else's body, so we don't even know what the mystery is yet, as they're already faking us out, which is a really good device.
This is where we get the...
That's the thing it has over Phantasm, where we're wondering who that is from the very beginning. With the Joker, it's, unless you're listening to that Hamill voice and you're immediately going, okay, I already know what's going on, you don't have any reason to be thinking, whose body is it? So, like, there's an overarching mystery is, how's it here? Bruce said, that's impossible!
Well, you might be thinking that it's that, because that other guy also has kind of a leaner figure. You might be like, well, somebody's dressing up like the Joker.
It's not actually the Joker?
Yeah. She's going to bring up...
Of course, Barbara is kind of questioning whether or not it's actually him. So, like, we have reasons to question everything right now. Understand?
She's going to bring up... I don't know if it's this scene or if it's later, but she brings up Nightwing.
Yeah.
And that's a mystery that's never answered in the series.
Right.
The comics
we deal with the comics later.
Yeah.
In Hush. Beyond. Which isn't great, but it has things in it that I really like.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of respect for Beach, and he immediately did some great things right after that.
Yeah. There was a good starting point. There it is. There's a Joker I like.
Bruce like, see, I told you, impossible!
It says deceased.
So this is our 657th different Bat computer, and he's got an interesting keypad this time, keyboard, because it's up here, and it still, as always, has nothing written on it.
Well, and I think that's the thing with the whole future. Everyone adapted to Batman technology. Well, because Wayne makes everything. And Wayne thinks you should just memorize.
Yeah, and I love that this Batman versus Adam West Batman is like, labels are stupid. Labels are for wusses.
Yeah. But what's your professional opinion? I killed him. Remember when I told you I had to give up after I almost shot someone? Well, I did shoot him, and I just think it was
I used to gun that one time, and then later I decided that was a problem. Terry, he's a wacko, and that's a technical term.
And this has weight here because I feel like this isn't a story we do a lot in the series, where it's you have to give me that back, you have to quit.
Like he's always doing with his Robins.
Yeah,
in the series.
I think he does it once or twice, but it's not a constant thing. So like this kind of has weight.
Yeah,
because
it's an arrangement very early.
Yeah, we know that he's agreed to this, and he trusts Terry and believes in Terry.
And once again, we're establishing, we're making a big deal out of his not being a Robin, and how he's different from Robins.
Although what's weird is that their Tim Drake has some Jason Todd in him, so he catches him lifting his Batmobile tire, or trying to lift the Batmobile tires.
Right.
So when he says, I was a pretty bad kid once, well, that does apply to Tim.
Yeah. But obviously, I think the biggest difference is just that he's had to be in the field by himself the whole time.
Well, he was talking about background. Like, I come from a different place than you and any of the Robins. Well, I mean, you don't come from that different of a place from Tim Drake, because he was also a street kid. Like, he didn't have any money.
Right, but the big difference is he didn't lose all of his parents.
Shut up, Pace.
I like the idea that you know, and this is maybe obvious, but I like the idea that Bruce is Terry's father figure after he loses his dad. So he has his mother, but he also has a good male mentor.
Mm-hmm.
But a really extreme one that arguably isn't always the best role model.
Okay, I know you're joking, and he knows you're joking. She didn't before she walked into the room.
Yeah, it's true. We don't always do the best job with his mom and brother, and they're not feeling like super generic characters.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we write them better than others.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna keep holding that note.
Oh, is that what music in the future sounds like?
Yeah.
It's not much less musical than most of what's on the radio right now. There's almost a hook.
Wait. He's not gonna have much money coming in. Has he not saved any of the money he's made?
Yeah, but he said coming in. Income is different from what you have saved.
But he's working
there.
for Bruce Wayne, so I assume he's getting paid well?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what his finances are like. I also always assumed that he gave a lot of that money to his mom.
Oh, yeah, that's totally fair.
What are the contraptions in the back for? And, Scarecrow guy stuck his tongue out there, and that's immediately really creepy.
Yeah. I would just start with that. If I had the Joker antitoxin, I'd just spray the Joker with it, and everything would be fixed.
So the rule is he only labels things when the audience needs to know what they are. Man, it's been too long since I've watched this, man.
Now we're immediately against the Joker because he hurt a dog. That's them telling us, the audience, okay, this is a bad guy. You shouldn't like him.
I think he was already a bad guy.
Oh, okay.
I think he was already doing some like not so great.
I
things.
made it all the way to that scene. I made it through
you
all the
really...
series, and then I was like, oh, he's a bad guy.
The dog will be okay though. Don't worry.
Yeah,
he'll make it.
It's a weird scene to write, right? Like, and then the Joker doesn't kill the doesn't really do anything to the dog.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That's great. So I'm glad that we didn't do it because obviously it's more ominous and fits this series better not to. Because every time he comes on screen and we just get a really sinister like couple and note bit for him in the score, I just want to go. And I don't think it shows up anywhere. Maybe in the flashback there's some of it someplace.
Yeah, I don't know. And this also feels bigger because this didn't happen very often in the series either. Was that they know who Terry is?
Yeah.
Although they don't know, but the Joker knows.
Yeah, and that tends to be a big staple of your big episodes or your movies where somebody has figured out who the hero is. And we have that kind of 1-2 punch with this. And again, it's cool that it works because it could feel really obligatory. He's fired and someone figured out who he is. I mean, the Joker knows Bruce is Batman. I don't know if right away he knows that Terry's Batman.
Well, that's why they're there.
He'll figure that out real fast. Oh, is that why they're there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's been forever since I've watched
it. Yeah, because one of them just said, like, I don't know why the boss wants us to go after this guy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He sounded just like that. It was spot on.
Good job. That was a nice impression. Well done. You don't belong in the Joker gang. You look like Scarecrow. What are you doing
He
here?
sounds like Christopher Walken.
Yeah, yes he does. But he's actually Michael Rosenbaum doing a Christopher Walken. That's Rosenbaum.
I know.
But you wouldn't know it because he sounds like Christopher Walken. But you wouldn't also think it was Christopher Walken because it sounds like a guy doing a Christopher Walken. And then when you know that, then it does sound like Rosenbaum doing a Christopher Walken. It's pretty great.
I mean, that's the exact same thing when he does Kevin Spacey for Deadshot.
Oh, is that what he does for Deadshot?
Yeah, for Deadshot he does Kevin Spacey.
In what show?
Justice League.
In Justice League? Okay.
Yeah. He's only in one episode of Justice League, but then he comes back for a couple episodes in Unlimited, and he does it again.
Does it? That's great. It must be nice to get paid to do that. You're just affecting someone else's voice. Drag. Let's start calling people I don't like that.
Yeah.
Drag. And then people will be like, is that a really vulgar thing to say? I don't even know what it means.
Well, I imagine the root is like dregs of society.
Well, sure, if you want to like analyze it. I just mean if you called someone that just on the street, drag, to be like, oh, is that an insult? I don't know what that means.
Yes, boss, meet Judge Drag. and then he shoots you in the face.
I'm the law.
No, Drag, I'm the law.
I'm the law.
No one ever takes me seriously. I keep telling them, I'm the law. And they just keep being a bunch of punk kids. I don't like it.
Etc. I always like the lingo in the show and that we don't overdo it.
Mm-hmm. Which is a balancing act.
Yeah, it's tough because you don't want people to sound just like they do in everyday life, and you don't want to date the show too much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're already going to date it somewhat by extrapolating the future from 1998.
Mm-hmm.
But we do a pretty good job with that too. I mean,
yeah.
It's I think as timeless as you can make it, and it feels like the future. We've talked about this, but it feels like the future of their amalgamated 50s or whatever, 40s.
Well, and they don't have anything that like is just super cringy, like 2099 has shock.
Shock, yeah.
Yeah, like you just hear that and you're like, yeah.
Drag sounds real thought out. That sounds like a thing that maybe people would say.
Yeah.
And there's some other things like that too.
Oh, they made the ha-has red because they weren't allowed to do it in the pilot. I'm gonna guess that is why those are red.
And I don't know if those are red in the other version.
Yeah,
I think they are though. Ah, that's great. This is really cool if you're familiar with the show. I mean, with the animated series, because we've seen Batman in costume look like the have the be on the Joker gas, but it wasn't actually him. And now finally it's him.
See, it hurts him more than most people because he's never smiled or laughed. So like it's pain, like he's moving muscles he's never moved before, and it really hurts.
You know, it's actually a good thing that the Joker gang attacked Terry, or he wouldn't have come back here, and Bruce would be so screwed.
That's true.
Joker actually would have had a better chance at winning if he hadn't sent them there.
But Joker also had no way to know that they split.
Yeah.
As far as Joker goes, he was going to come back there anyway.
But you can never trust him. Right, but didn't he expect the henchman to kill him?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying
you can't trust henchmen.
What I'm saying, yeah.
You just that's a rookie mistake there, Joker. You can't trust your henchman.
Well, but he views him as...
And this
as
is not just
henchman.
a crazy doing whatever Joker. But this is a very master plan kind of Joker.
But he views Terry as a henchman too. He's
That's... You know what? That's fair. Yeah, and the fact that he underestimates him is a big deal at the end, so...
Hey, did you know that DC Comics is owned by Warner Brothers?
Yeah, Also, one of the big futuristic things they have in this show is color television.
Yeah.
It's the future.
I like the idea of a dog watching Looney Tunes.
Which begs the question as to, in animated series, were those cartoons in black and white, or were they did they recolor them, or do they just have color in the movie theaters?
Well, they've got color in Metropolis.
On television?
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's just in a different world, except for when it's not, I guess.
It's just a real punchable face right there. It's It's real unfortunate that guy's got such a punchable face. Do you imagine walking through life with a face that punchable?
Honestly, should just stay on television. Just never leave TV. No one can punch you on TV.
It's like an animated Walter Peck.
See, I always had a hard time taking Barbara Gordon too seriously in this show because she's just American made. She sounds like American made if she was an elderly person. But like, I wouldn't expect this actress to affect too much more of a voice because that's totally the right voice for this character because American Made's always playing it really straight. But it is American made. Barbara Gordon's going to start throwing shoes at people.
Here it is. Here's the big difference stuff.
That's right. Here in a little bit.
They do this thing with Tim when he laughs. That's the most terrifying thing ever. Matt and I like to do that to each other sometimes. Especially when somebody says a bad joke. But we'll get there.
I just always love this roof stuff.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks great.
Don't fall for it, Tim. It's going to either be a vampire or a Harley Quinn. What do you think, Eric?
Paleface, I'm still not sure.
Oh,
it's got
it's a mallet.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be a vampire with a mallet, though.
There
he's got lips there too.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite joke design that they do.
Yeah, and it's cool because we've aged everybody just a smidge.
Mm-hmm.
Except for Tim, I guess. He's still like 10.
Hey, that's Black Canary.
Is that Black Canary?
That was weird.
It looks like Black Canary.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's great.
Ah. Can we have this show? Can we have what would have essentially been season 5?
Yeah.
This show looks great. Because it just looks a little darker. Like it's got a little bit more of punch to it than that New Adventure stuff did.
It's terrifying.
But it's still in that aesthetic. And I never loved that aesthetic, but here I think it's wonderful. I'm back and forth on it. There's different bits of it I really like. It just always depends on the character model.
I mean, Scarecrow's great.
And I know you had that too. You know, the Riddler's pretty bad.
Yeah, the Riddler's not great. Two-Face is okay. It's not great.
But I do. But I'm with you. I do like their Batgirl costume a lot.
Yeah. No, I love it.
But she does feel a little de-aged.
Which makes it weirder because that's the season where we kind of do the Bruce Batgirl thing.
But we've already done at least with that movie we watched a couple days ago. From this, you already did the thing with Horn and Dick, but
the small cape on Batgirl.
Yeah, you too. And of course, I always prefer hair out of the
absolutely
the cowl always.
What's even the point of doing Batgirl if you're not going to do that?
But I'm like that with a lot of characters. Like everybody looks better like that.
Yeah, well, I'm a big fan of the mask that cuts off here.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I love that. Like if you throw that on a character design, I will immediately like that mask. I like the hair out. They like to go back to like 50s family with Joker a lot.
A lot.
Oh man, that robot
which makes a lot of sense because
is not going to be happy about Harley. That homewrecker Harley.
Because he likes to pervert the wholesome. That's what he's all about.
God.
And it goes so well with the Joker's philosophy that we're trying to cling to this civilized idea that is just a construct that's not real because we had so many sitcoms in the 50s that were trying to create and perpetrate the perfect home life, like everybody lived that way, and nobody's home life looked like that.
I like that Joker starts thinking about legacy.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting idea.
There's nothing in this to make this assumption, but just with other Harley stories where you get the sense that the Joker isn't really all that attracted to her and that they don't really have an intimate relationship, a part of me wants to think that she's kind of in denial and playing up that I didn't want to go through childbirth thing.
I don't tend to buy that with Paul Dini.
Well, sure.
Paul Dini's Joker and Harley are definitely in a relationship.
Yeah.
There's that really provocative, suggestive Ride Your Harley.
Right, yeah, that whole I knew you were going to bring that up.
Well, and because that comic is drawn by Bruce Timm and written by Paul Dini.
Like, I've read it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that show goes back and forth on it. And I don't think Dini writes every episode she's in.
No, maybe. I'm not sure.
I don't know right off. This is such a mortifying idea.
This laugh is so terrifying.
You see why this is pretty okay for Halloween?
Yeah.
Probably especially this version of it.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me that Batman goes back to what looks like an earlier suit that he would have had before the yellow.
Brat girl.
But I like it.
She got her.
She's so clever.
Yeah.
See, she's using insults she hasn't used before. Joker's going back to all his classics in this.
What is happening? The sky is red.
Sometimes I think the Joker plans his heists and his crimes and things around the weather. I think he watches the Weather Channel and just decides, tonight we're going to do the scheme.
There's a 60% chance of rain. It's tonight.
He gets angry because the sky's not red enough. It's a red and dusty planet! Yeah, he's mortifying. And even with a bazooka, this stuff is still kind of disturbing and wrong. And you can't begrudge them the convenient rain because the lightning stuff always looks good with this animation. But you notice it's raining most of the time when we do outdoor Joker fights.
Yeah.
With this show. With these shows.
So this is supposed to be the death of Harley Quinn.
Right.
They will
she shows back
not be able to commit to that, unfortunately. Because it would have been cool, like, this is their character and they gave her, like, a real ending.
It would have been great.
Yeah. And they just throw her in so they can have a gag at the end, and it's weird.
I've always been back and forth on that, too. Like, I think it's funny, but I'm with you. Because it kind of reeks of this character has gotten too popular.
Mm. Well, or they like that character too much.
Yeah, but it's probably a little bit of both. Because at this point, that character was really popular.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing like she is now, but that's true of a lot of things. Yep, he's still doing that 50s Family thing. That Rosie the Robot thing has got to still be kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, and she's real upset with Harley. And we're back to the black and white. To demonstrate how far technology has come in the Beyond universe.
Well, but also, he might be intentionally using outdated technology. That mouth doesn't look great. He might intentionally be using outdated technology to make it a reel-to-reel thing. Because part of what is making this kind of unsettling is it's just the Joker narrating over it, and there's no sound.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. It's always hard to tell if Joker is going back to old things or if he's going to whatever is around right now. Once again, I like that as disturbing as this is, he's still that character.
Yeah.
And he's still funny, and we're still enjoying watching him.
Oh, there's blood.
Yeah. It's great.
This stuff all looks great. With the lighting and the camera where he's moving it.
What's great about it is it really does feel like a worthy last bout between them.
Mm-hmm. He's got a knife. That was a real stub my toe. I might have gone with a different take on that one. They're just like
Unfortunately, they just picked the wrong one. He had a great one. They chose the wrong one.
I really wish you just grabbed him. They've just done laughing together with him with his arm around their own. That'd be great.
I kind of buy that at least with this Joker, this would be the scenario where he's okay with finally offing Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Because this isn't an elaborate game. Like, he really is planning to kill Batman this time. That's not fair. That's not right!
Nope. He's just so scared.
It's just
I bet that
twisted
still look like...
and wrong. It still looks like him?
Yeah, it still looks like Tim. But yeah, I mean, that's better than the Joker accidentally falling back into wires.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Well, what's weird is this is how I always remember it. I guess I just know about this, and so...
Okay.
Like, none of that surprised me. I guess I've just known it for so long.
Yeah.
I guess that's how I play it in my mind.
In the censored cut, the Joker, like, slips on water and falls into wires and gets electrocuted
himself.
Yeah, it's not Tim that does it. It needs to be Tim that does it, I think.
Yeah, no, that's really important. Or is it something he does that, like, kind of forces him back so that it still counts as he did it, sort of?
No, I think he trips.
Oh, weird.
I think. It's been a while.
Because he still has that moment where, like, he's supposed to shoot, but he doesn't, and, like, that all's still there. So I don't know how exactly it
I
plays
think maybe the Joker
now.
just gets, like, nervous
Even
and
though
steps
that's the
back
one
and
I've reviewed,
trips.
but it's been so long. It's kind of fun re-experiencing this, because... I don't mean it's like the first time, but there's some of this I just don't even remember.
It feels like the first time.
It feels like the very first time. I guess that's a song in this version that Harley Quinn might actually sing, because according to you, they actually probably are really physical in the show.
Well,
but it's a kid's show, so.
And we also know that canonically, according to Bruce Timm and Paul Dini, her and Ivy are physical. That's a thing that they've done.
Really?
Oh yeah, no, that's word of God continuity.
Oh wow, okay. I mean, no, my feelings on that. It's not in the show; it doesn't count. But
well, apparently,
if it's implied,
apparently
enough.
back in the day, if you asked Bruce Timm for a picture, he would draw you one.
Wow.
At a con.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't that explicit.
I mean, I
but...
totally buy that, especially with Poison Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
I see Poison Ivy as enough of a man-hater that they would think to go that way with her.
Mm-hmm.
Or that she would just have some really perverse plant thing. I don't know why we went to Dean Stockwell, but I always thought it was a really cool choice.
I like that no one... Batman looks real, like, tiny there. Was that wrong? Like, he looks like a little mini Batman.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not sure about the proportions there.
I like that no one has a good relationship with Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that was a really smart... I mean, that seems like obvious inherent in the character kind of a thing.
Look up Nightwing, has he got stories?
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently his stories was the Joker came back and he landed behind Batman and Joker shot through the cape and shot him. Is that how that played out?
And there's, like, clones.
Yeah.
If memory serves.
Yeah.
Because doesn't Hush just turn out to be a Dick Grayson clone?
I think so. I haven't read that stuff in years, like since it first came out.
Yeah, same here. I like the art in that a lot.
Yeah. I want to be scared, but I'm just not. Fear is not what is going through my head right now.
He is still trying to decide if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah. Hey, she's fine. I don't know why they tied her up.
Yacht around.
Oh, well, now it got weird. Now I'm not into this.
Go to. This isn't fun anymore. And is there trick or treating? I don't know what's going on. How do we trick or treat on a yacht?
You could probably do that. Well, I'm not a yacht, but you could do that on a cruise. You could go
door to door.
Yeah, cabin to cabin.
Yo ho, trick or treat. Now I want to do that. That's on my bucket list now, to go on a cruise at Halloween and trick or treat.
Oh, I bet you.
in costume.
I bet you that's a thing.
You think so?
I bet you that's a thing. You know, they look a little pale, and so does he. Do you think they keep them mostly down below?
I think yeah. Down below.
They're not getting enough of that sea air.
That was a real elaborate communication ring. I don't know what exactly that symbol is, but
yeah, it's got to be more elaborate.
One of the
we can do that too. We can also break windows
with a plastic bucket.
That's probably
on a yacht.
It's probably lead lined.
Okay, but he didn't hit it that hard. That should have taken. I don't care if it's lead or not. It should have taken at least 2 or 3 whacks. Yeah.
Superman's just so angry by that lead line. By that lead line trick or treating basket. Like he just wants to know what's in there, but he can't see it because it's lead line.
Yeah, and don't be surprised. You know it's kryptonite.
It's always kryptonite.
It's always kryptonite. One of the things I always really appreciate about this movie is that it doesn't.
Oh, Maxie Zeus is the villain.
It doesn't feel the need to go too terribly in depth with how exactly the technology works.
Yeah.
With taking his personality and putting it into Tim Drake. It's just there's a machine that does it go. That kind of thing has got to be a conceit. I mean, we could have gotten like real too worked up about the technobabble.
I wish.
And I would be more concerned with it if the story wasn't so good.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just a nice testament to it. What do you say?
I wish there was, like, once you get that backstory, you know it's Tim Drake. You don't know how, but you know it's Tim Drake. I wish there was. I feel like we're going to keep playing it as a mystery for a little bit longer, but now the mystery is how.
Yeah.
I wish we still had some kind of mystery.
Do you think just because we saw him, we know for sure that?
I feel like that's where your mind would immediately jump to. I don't know.
I don't remember what I thought the first time I saw it. I think there's still some doubt. Now he's at least a suspect. Mm-hmm. He wasn't even a suspect before, because now we know for sure that there's kind of a mystery. Mm-hmm. I mean, we know the Joker for sure died, and we saw it happen, mm-hmm. which is again partly why that's better than the electrocution, because it went through his chest. But you can't drop the Joker like down a well or something. You can't throw him in a bunch of water, which arguably is kind of why, if you're gonna let Harley die that way, she has to come back, because nobody ever doesn't come back from that in these shows. If you drop someone from a high place, they always come back.
Yeah.
But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, fine, to just kill her some other definitive way, make sure there's a body, but look, we all know, you just want Harley Quinn dead, we know.
I mean, I don't have a problem with this Harley Quinn. You were talking about earlier how this character's not as popular as she is now. This character is not as popular as she was then. I don't have a problem with this Harley Quinn.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people that love that character think they're all the same.
I don't think those people are wrong.
Well, I agree with you.
That's good. Do you want to keep having a normal conversation, but acting like there's animosity between us?
Yeah, let's do that. Sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm without a tone. I think we could make people think we hated each other really easily. Yeah, everyone else suspected that too, but not for the same reason. Terry, just watch Star Wars, God. Just watch 90s Spider-Man.
You know, they didn't give Batman like a laser sword, and they could have.
Oh, they did.
Oh, they could have done a laser sword Cavalier. Oh, they could have finally done the Cavalier and beyond. They could have a laser sword. It would have been amazing. Oh, missed opportunity. Oh, I love the Cavalier. I don't know why.
I would have liked a second Clock King. Because I just feel like a futuristic Clock King. There's like something there. If we're going to our D-list villain fetishes.
Well, but they never did. Like, Cavalier was never done.
No,
like,
I know that.
But, like, Spellbinder is an actual character that they just completely reimagined for this. They could have done that with Cavalier.
Yeah. And the Royal Flush Gang.
Yeah. He could have, like...
They did that with a few things.
Yeah. Which is nice.
But it's also nice that they're made up from the ground floor characters were often pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that Inkville is cool.
I mean, I know you don't like the sound guy as much as I do.
Yeah, Shriek.
But Shriek.
Yeah,
I love Shriek.
Yeah, I don't like Shriek as much as you do. But
I just love the idea of making someone menacing that can't grasp anything, that has like bear paws. You know, he's got like polar bear hands. So that's right out of Superman.
Was this seeded at all? I wasn't really paying attention. Like, is this the thing that like Wayne Tech's working on, like something like that?
I forget. I mean, we did see him use it briefly earlier, but I'm not sure how he made it happen. This is Joker territory.
It would have been great if the twist was it was Maxie Zeus the whole time.
That's pretty good. Or Nostrum Preposterous, but yeah, Maxie Zeus. It also I also always like, just because it's so Joker, that somehow or other his circuitry is in a smiley face, and that if memory serves, isn't he also
he's gonna
try to burn a
face
smiley face into the city?
Yeah. Did you know someone invented the smiley face?
Yeah, really?
That is an invention in the 60s.
Wow.
And the guy that invented
it was immediately co-opted by the hippie movement, yes?
I
mean, because smiley faces are in the...
Yeah.
Are in that
and
culture.
He got no credit for it. Like, he created it for people at his job. Like, he worked in an office. And the company took it and started using it. And he was totally... As you might imagine from someone that created smiley face... Totally joke the fact they never got paid for the creation of what we just take as a standard.
You know, I just thought of this. This is... Yeah, I never thought... I mean, I didn't know about that. This is another Batman movie where our Batman is not in costume a lot, and I never think about it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I mean, he is now in the third act, and he was a little bit earlier, but there's quite a bit of Terry out of costume.
I would just immediately go to the abandoned factory district in Gotham whenever there's a villain.
And it's funny because it's interesting because if you're not familiar with this material, every time in this movie we get a nice showcase of all the different things the suit does, and we spread it out. So every time the suit does something, you're like, "Oh, cool, that's what the suit does." And I mean, you risk it obviously looking like we're just making up something for every scene, but we're not because we know what the suit does if we're familiar with the show. But like. It went invisible earlier, but there's a bunch of other things that it does that it hasn't done yet. And I always loved batarangs out of fingers. Yeah. That's so cool.
I really like the detail that, like, it misses him. Like, it shoots behind him. And I think the standard, like, thing would be for him to drive away from the explosion, but it's a super powerful laser, and so it flips the car away. That's really fun.
It's such a Bond villain thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is super Bond villain.
And this is one of those rare cases where it gets super big at the end and totally earns that.
Yeah. Although we were never going to mention how Gotham City got put back together after this.
Well, that's fair. We do that kind of thing all the time.
He's tired. He's going to stop pushing the button.
Now, you say you wish there was still kind of a mystery. There is, in that we still don't know exactly what's going on with the two of them.
Yeah.
And because they try to make you think that Tim Drake lost his mind and is pretending to be the Joker.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
Yeah,
and
I
then,
think so.
And then when you get to the end, the big revelation is it's the real Joker's personality saved on a microchip that has taken over his brain, and Tim is not fully responsible for this, but it's still And I mean, it's a real tragic thing, but it's still consequences to his own actions. But he is still very much the victim in all of this. I'm trying to remember what exactly it is, but I feel like there is kind of like something he does that makes this like partially his fault.
I don't think so.
Is there not?
Yeah, get him, Ace. Ace rules.
See, that it's right there. You have to have Ace fight the hyenas.
Yeah.
Good bad dog. Although I always thought the line was good bat dog. Really, I thought
these subtitles have been off quite a bit.
Okay, maybe I'm right then. Those are both okay lines.
Yeah.
But I want him to say bat dog. Why are you dumb? What? You haven't shown
Harley
signs
Quinn's
of being
granddaughters.
quite that dumb before?
But they are Harley Quinn's granddaughters, and Harley Quinn would fall for that.
That's fair.
And I guarantee you she didn't raise a good daughter, and her daughter didn't raise good kids. Well, I mean, clearly.
Yeah,
Ha!
I guess it's possible she raised them.
I guess it is kind of implied that she raised them. Because she bails them out at the end.
They might have had good-for-nothing parents.
This Joker's really proud. I blame the parents.
I feel like... Am I wrong? I feel like those big smiley face bucket things in the background, the barrel things, were in an animated series episode.
I think maybe.
But I might just be remembering this. I'm not sure.
Because they look really
animated. Feels like a callback to that. Bruce. It's in my mind. Oh, okay, so they didn't think he was pretending to be the Joker. They thought that he teamed up with him.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, he never quite stopped being crazy to him. I'd love to know, or did they mention, like, what happens in the interim? That they just never talk again, or...
Yeah, he leaves.
That bear is horrifying. No, that's real making Christmas. La la la. And so that line would have had to have been different in the other version. And I kind of wonder what that was.
I don't have ambulance money.
Yeah, so it's just a Jekyll Hyde thing. But he's totally the victim because he didn't, like, you know, create this technology or anything.
So he says it's in him like bad oysters, but I thought that was a Joker line. I could hear Mark Hamill saying that. It's a line I like. It's a real specific, like, it's twisting in my stomach like bad oysters. It's weird.
Well, he's slowly transforming back into the Joker as he's talking. So arguably it is a Joker line, even though it's not Mark Hamill saying it?
No, but I remember, like, specifically Mark Hamill saying it.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that it is clearly written to be thought of. I'm just saying I can see why you would remember it that way accidentally.
Well, because everyone's a genius in the DC universe, as we've established.
That's true, but he was a genius before everybody was a genius.
He was OG genius.
That's right. Although, that's the thing I don't like about his backstory in this with Phantasm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what it is. It's not here.
I was gonna say I wasn't entirely sure what you were talking about, but I just went with it and assumed you must be right about it.
I thought it was here on the neck where it would be visible when he turns his head. But I would have put that in as an animation detail, as like a thing that you could watch like a second time, like, oh, they both have the thing there. Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry.
Maybe even shoot it from behind if that's where it is.
Anyways, you were saying
I don't remember
backstory about the Joker. that you don't like about the backstory for the show?
Oh, just that he's supposed to be like a scientific, chemical genius, and he's just working as a henchman, as a mob thug.
Well, we get at least 2 origins, because we get that one, then we also get one that he's a failed comedian in the animated series.
Yeah.
And make him laugh.
But in neither one of those is he utilizing his knowledge
Well,
base.
crazy sometimes comes with untapped genius.
Yeah, that's fair.
I know when I go crazy.
And to be fair,
I
even
assume
in
I'll
'89, like Napier wasn't really using any of that.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe that's okay.
When I go crazy, I'm gonna be such a genius about something. I'm gonna be like a rocket scientist.
Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder if he becomes a genius after he loses his mind, or if he always had that. But remember, in '89, Bruce has that list of all the things he has an aptitude for. Chemistry, art, chemistry.
I like him calling it Stately Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
After that first... After that first, chase through the city, wouldn't the government have been like, hey, somebody's using our satellite. We should try and stop that.
He's also got black fingernails.
Yeah. He should use Ace more often.
Yeah, he really kind of works as his Robin pretty well.
Yeah.
That's another thing that you could easily see being
guy.
just an irritating device.
Mhm.
Or always got a pet dog. But
Yeah.
it totally works.
No, because it's a super scary menacing dog.
Yeah. And also, like, police have attack dogs, and...
Yeah. That was a little convenient.
Like, if you don't treat it as a silly pet sidekick, it can totally work. I also like having... I never thought of this, and the series uses him more than some people remember. He's got a couple of episodes where he actually takes him with him. But... Or they fight something around the manor or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I never thought of this before. I like the idea of a futuristic show like this using a primal animal like that.
Yeah.
It's the nature versus technology thing.
I like that the Joker is like still like it's he's still, even though he's been out of the game for like 30 years or whatever, he still views it as this like endless cycle, and he's like, all right, well you foiled me, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do something else now.
Yeah, right.
We'll do it again.
That's what the rules are.
Yeah. So this works.
Which I don't know. I kind of feel like he might be more desperate to finish things, given that he was ready for it all to end before. On the other hand, he knows where Batman lives now.
Mm-hmm.
He might be thinking he can finish this in about 5 hours.
Yeah.
But you're right. He is thinking of things in terms of what the rules with the relationship always were.
Mm-hmm.
And by extension, what the comic book rules are. This isn't what Batman does.
Hey, I just noticed this. This is in widescreen. Even though it was released direct to DVD or direct to video on VHS, they made it widescreen. And they didn't release it in theaters. Because remember, Phantasm was originally supposed to be...
Right. They might have originally released it this way. I'm not sure. As we're getting closer and closer to 2000s, things are starting to do that, but not a lot. By 01, we've already got TV shows starting to film that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if they maybe made it this way, but then they had VHS copies that were full screen.
Yeah.
Or maybe they had the option, and because this would have been just as we were starting to put DVDs out.
Mm-hmm. Mostly because it's a really fake laugh, and I know you're not really laughing at me. I like this, and I think it's interesting. I don't think this is a thing we've done in the animated series before. Laughing at the Joker?
With the Batman that laughs at Joker and doesn't think he's funny. And of course, Batman doesn't think Joker's funny necessarily. Although sometimes I wonder if deep down he does. I think that's kind of the thing. Yeah. And he does have a sense of humor, but he also has a bias.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you tend not to think people are funny that you can't stand. But then with that yin yang, you complete me thing, can he not stand the Joker?
That looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the hair popping out in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we see it happen. It's pretty cool.
No, yeah, this is in the shape of a smiley face.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like it until we get it real close up like that.
Yeah.
Which leads me to believe it wasn't intentional. I mean, on Joker's part.
I don't know. Joker's all about fashion over form.
That's true.
Style over substance.
It's like that plot wouldn't have even have happened if you couldn't find some way to make that circuitry. Now, I'm honestly not entirely sure how he figured out how to do that. That's, I said the conceit's nice. I don't need like technobabble, but at the same time, yeah, he's a genius, but you'd think you'd need to get to the future before you could figure out how to do that.
That was really good looking smoke. That's a weird thing to compliment, but it was really good looking smoke. I know what bad looking smoke looks like, and that wasn't it.
But there is one thing I have to say about Sub-Zero. Nothing in this looks as good as Sub-Zero.
That's true.
I mean, it looks really good.
That's true. I mean, I don't think... This looks good. I don't think this is much of a market improvement over the series itself. It's not like Phantasm.
No, but that's a testament to how good that animation was.
Absolutely.
The still, I think, is theatrical worthy.
Well, it just goes away. Well, I'm done here now.
There's no way that wasn't a LexCorp satellite. It looks just like LexCorp technology in this universe. Your grandmother is Amanda Waller? Oh. Yeah, she raised them. Probably.
I mean, it's kind of funny that like she grows up to be someone that like wants her kids to be respectful. I don't know.
But also be just like she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they give her an ending because they made her like.
Yeah.
Something to that. But you can't remember anything, so what you remember is me saying, hey, how are you wrapped up in this? And you going, the Joker? And then that's it.
But he did just say that, though. He did just say he didn't remember meeting him. I always thought this ending was really touching where they get the original three in the room together.
Do you think they planned to do something with Nightwing? Like, not necessarily they knew what it was going to be, but that, like...
I always wondered about it, yeah. Especially since they established that he's still around.
Mm-hmm. I have to go make an old friend cry for being weak enough to be taken over by the Joker.
What is wrong with you?
But never would have happened to Dick.
But I like that he fully establishes himself as really, truly a Batman, and yet he doesn't belong in that room.
Mm-hmm. That's a room for old friends. Oh, I loved how the fabric looked when he pulled the mask on.
Yeah, and getting the original theme in electric guitar is always cool.
Mm-hmm. So we did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really fun going back to that.
It's really good.
Tara Strong's Batgirl for like 5 lines or something.
Yeah. Well, Rachel Lee Cook was someone.
Who's that?
She's the This Is Your Brain on Drugs girl.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hysterical.
She's also, I think, Josie in the criminally underrated Josie and the Pussycats movie.
Is that
Did you
good?
see that? Oh
No.
yeah. It is secretly really good.
Really?
It's I mean, I haven't
Wow.
watched it in a while, but it's kind of a secret gem.
Interesting. Yeah, it's nuts how long it's been since I've watched this.
Yeah, it's definitely been longer than I thought it had been since I watched this. It's certainly been a couple of years.
Like a lot of the things I always talked about with this movie, I was having a hard time getting back to in my head.
But it's still really good.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't really do much with unless I missed it. I don't know that we use the actual Batman Beyond theme very much in the score of this.
No,
Because it kind of got its own theme, which is kind of dancing around that melody a little bit. It's similar, but it's not that theme.
you know, this would be a cool thing for them to go back to with the direct-to-DVD. Like, they keep being like, we got back Kevin Conroy, and we're doing Batman.
Yeah, they're doing that Batman Harley Quinn thing, which is pseudo.
Which is,
in that style.
I mean, this is 2017, so I'm not excited about that because it's Harley Quinn. Who could possibly care? But like, I'm not excited about that because we just keep doing that Batman and that Joker, and it would be really cool if they came back and did another one of these.
Yeah.
And got like Bruce Timm to write it or something like really. That's something I could get excited about because it's been abandoned basically.
Well, and since they're doing PG-13 more adult movies, I mean that's a perfect world to play with that and do that kind of thing.
Yeah, bring Blight back. Finally, do something. That would be really cool. They should do that.
Yeah, and just and do some real and I mean like you know make sure that you're not forcing it and it's actually meant for adults before it's meant for kids. But like go back and obviously a sophisticated, intelligent way do some real social commentary with all that big business stuff that you were dealing with in the show, and just really pay off some of the stuff that you never got around to paying off.
Yeah, give the show the ending it really deserves, because it never really got one. And some people view that
my worry would be they would do Justice League, and I wouldn't want that, but
yeah, I don't want that. No,
but yeah, I hope they do
this.
go back to Batman Beyond at some
That'd
point.
be so cool if they just did like one more movie.
Well, folks, thanks a lot for watching. We sure appreciate it. We will see you again tomorrow with another one. Tomorrow, we're going to do kind of the opposite of this, which is not so good movie.
And one I've never seen.
That is technically not in this continuity, but it has that aesthetic.
Much like Brainiac Attacks.
Yes, just like Brainiac Attacks, which is, I mean, luckily we don't have to do that, which is Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, which is ultimately not much of a mystery at all, but you'll see that when we get into it. Yeah. So will this be the first one you've never seen that we're doing in this series?
Yeah. I don't think there should be another one until we get to those kids' movies.
Yeah. I mean, there's some that we just don't know that well that will be like watching for the first time.
Yeah.
So those direct-to-video things, especially in the 52 continuity.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
we gotta do those.
Look forward to that. And in the meantime, thanks again for watching. Sure appreciate it. Looking forward to your comments. I am Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.